Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Bazai. Thanks for your amazing support. Seriously, it means a lot. Today we are diving into something that truly gives life to AI agents, memory. Not just any memory, persistent memory powered by AdalFlow. Because without memory, an agent isn't really intelligent. It's just a goldfish with better math skills. So why agents needs memory? Let's be honest. Today's LLM agents are great at responding, but do they really remember what you said yesterday or what project you were working on last week? No. Every session starts like, hey, who are you again? That's a problem. Without persistent memory, your agent lives in a time loop. Every day, chat is grounded zero. Memory changes everything. It gives your agents the ability to learn from the past, understand the context, and adapt to your personally across the sessions, across the task, and across the time. It is the difference between a chatbot or an intelligent collaborator. So, what is AdalFlow? It's a PyTorch inspired design system, a unified frameworks for building memory aware modular AI agents that gives you flexible components, intuitive APIs, token efficient pipelines, and auto optimized memory compaction. In simple terms, AdalFlows gives your agents the ability to think, remember, and reflect. It is built for high performance, context retentions, and multi step reasoning. Your agents can recall conversations, summarize them when the context gets heavy, and pick up the right where it left. Even after hours, the days or weeks, your agent knows what you talks and how agent has to be respond. So why persistent memory is a game changer in AI agents? Here is the truth. Agent without memory are reactive. Agents with persistent memory are evolutionary. Persistent memory allows your agent recall who you are, what you like, and summarize the past interactions and retain the important facts for the future reasoning and build the continuity across the different sessions or even multiple agents. Imagine you are building a customer support agent without memory. Every time user says, "Hey, I already explained the problem yesterday." The agent blink with the persistent memory. It's remember the context, your preferences, issues, and tone, and the continuity the conversation naturally. That is just useful. It's not just useful. It's just like a human. So how the AdalFlow manages the memory? AdalFlow uses a hybrid memory system that combining short-term memory (STM) and long-term memory (LTM). The short-term memory handles the immediate context, fast recall session-specific but costly in token. Long-term memory stores durable knowledge, facts, summaries, preferences, and historical insight. The beauty of AdalFlow lies its history comparator, a built-in summarize that compress your old chart logs, trim them redundant tokens but preserving the meaning. That means your agent can handle 18 plus messages threads without bloating or losing the coherence. So it also uses the JSON based storage, thread safe logs, and file backend persistent, ensuring every memory node from the tools used for the user feedback is safe, structured, and retrievable. And here is the coolest part. AdalFlow is not just storing the memory, it thinks within it. It makes your memory aware decisions, orchestrate the multiple tools, and even decide when to recall, when to summarize, and when to forget. So I'm gonna walk through a Colab notebook and I'm gonna start two different sessions with GPT-4 and how the session A can understand and how session B can understand. And I'm going to walk through each one. What is it's remember the context, relationships, and preferences. Now let's dive into the real app. So the persistent memory layer itself built around the class, the JSON memory store, which define how sessions are created, how data is stored, and how the context flow between short-term and long-term memory. Whenever a session starts, AdalFlow automatically creates the notes and facts that help the short-term memory to handle immediate conversations, while long-term memory summarizes and archives the insights. This keeps the history clean and context-rich. And here is the best part. AdalFlow maintain a global session registry. So it's gonna keep an active record of all sessions and their permissions and file backend storage references. So even if your notebook restart or your server reload, your agentic memory persists. So now let's talk about history compaction. This is where AdalFlow gets smart and where your conversation history exceeded a certain threshold, say 18 turns. AdalFlow compactor kicks in. It summarizes the whole context into a lightweight, semantically dense representation, a kind of memory spine. It keeps what is important, user goal, preferences, ongoing tasks, decisions, and outcomes. And then it keeps the last few turns, maybe six, for immediate continuity. This way, your agent retain understand of the entire session without bloating the prompt. It reduces the token usage, keeps the reasoning sharp, and maintain historical depth. You can even tune this threshold, decide how long memory stays detailed before it is compacted. AdalFlow makes that configurable. So you can balance between the cost, performance, and depth. So every piece of your history that is summarized goes to long-term memory while the last few dialogues stay active in a short-term recall. Together they create a layer intelligence just like human cognition. Now, when the memory engine runs, AdalFlow isn't firing the random prompts, it is context aware. It builds a single authoritative system message that include global memory, session summarizes short-term and long-term facts, and session ID metadata. No fragmented context, no confusion, just one coherent, self-contained reasoning loop. Then comes to tool definition layer. AdalFlow never update memory implicitly. The module must call a tool whether it's a remember, recall, or counter or jot. That means every memory changes is auditable and policy guarded. It is transparent, controllable system. And in the backend, AdalFlow runner orchestrate everything. It knows what tool exists, how to call them, and when to execute the loop. Think, decide the tool, call, observe, continue, and remember. And today I'm gonna show you right how the OpenAI client become the reasoning engine here and AdalFlow transform into the persistent memory agent, and that ensure the session exists, keeps the entire history, and update the memory intelligence across each every interactions. Let me take you in real. Hey, as a agent, I've given us like, hey, please remember my favorite model is GPT-4 and use the tool to store it into the long-term memory. And AdalFlow processes it, calls to the memory tool, and saves it under the session for a long-term bucket. Now, if it's asked what is my favorite model, it instantly recall my favorite model is GPT-4 because session A has consumed my long-term memory, and when you do it in a session B, it doesn't have my long-term memory is gonna store within that. It store only my short-term memory. So whenever I query to the session B about my favorite model, it doesn't know that because it doesn't include into the long-term memory. but session A will remember perfectly fine. That's where we can build a true multi-session intelligence, short-term memory for active calls, long-term memory for durable knowledge, and global memory for the collaborations. And every run, AdalFlow ensure the history is compacted, memory is written, and reasoning stays consistent. This is what makes AdalFlow stand out: a persistent, auditable, intelligent memory layer built for modern AI agents. And it doesn't respond, it remembers, it reasons, and it's evolve. And thanks for watching it.